Yo, what's going on, guys? Rob here from Shonen Showdown, and today we are doing a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Build Your Team for $15. A lot of you guys have been asking me for a JoJo video. The time has finally come. Now let's take a look at the list. Alright, so we have a list here. Now I actually had to modify this. So somebody sent me one that had $20 and it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But it just would have been a little bit too cheese for me if you could grab 4 people in the top tier bracket. So I had to change the list to being $15 and make the top row worth 7. Just to make it just a little bit more challenging. Now looking at this chart, I know you guys see the Instagram tag on there. Just know that this was not made by me. Somebody actually made this chart for me and they sent it to me with the tag on there. I don't remember who it was, so I'm sorry. But the first thing I'm seeing here is I see Giorno is there in the $7 bracket. I have to grab him. It just makes no sense for me not to take him, and here's why. Now for this list, we're not even counting any Requiem stands, so I'm not even going to talk about Gold Experience Requiem. Just Gold Experience alone is good enough for me, because this stand is the best healing stand on this chart. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be looking at Josuke and saying, well, how are you saying that? Well, yes, I'm going to bring up something that Josuke was not able to do with Crazy Diamond. And this is Giorno's ability to heal somebody, even though they have passed away. Let's talk about Bucciarati for a sec. Bucciarati is a top tier fighter in Golden Wind. Obviously, we already know he had his crew. Giorno was a part of his crew. But Bucciarati ended up losing his life to Diavolo. But he kept boxing. Somehow Bucciarati was still alive. Somehow Bucciarati was able to continue throughout the story. This is something that makes absolutely no sense unless Giorno was there. And that's what changes the game for everybody on this chart. Because if we take a look again, we can say that anybody that I pick up on my team, they can go to Giorno and say, look, I've seen what you've done for others. Make it happen for me too. This means that anybody that's on my team alongside Giorno, he can heal them to a point where they can still be undead and still box. And that's something that I think is beyond what Josuke is able to offer with a healing stand. Your ability is literally to make inanimate objects into living things. He can repair body parts. He can go crazy. And let's not forget his intelligence. Giorno is arguably top 3 smartest on this chart as well. So I'm definitely taking Giorno on my team for $7. Now I'm left with $8 left. And this is where it gets tricky, because you see Jotaro is there, who I stated, at least for parts 1 through 5, is the most dominant JoJo here. But I'm excited for Stone Ocean. I need to see what's going on in Stone Ocean. But at least for parts 1 through 5, Jotaro is the most dominant JoJo I have seen. Next to Jotaro, you have Dio. We know the world stand obviously is there as well, can stop time. Dio is nothing to joke about. And then next to Dio, we have Diavolo, which is different, because this is not even a time skip. This is now actually a time erasure, which a lot of you guys have corrected me on. But this is something that can actually just get rid of a moment in existence, and that's it. Up to 10 seconds. That's what King Crimson is actually able to do. Just get rid of a moment in time. Now, the fact that these 3 are on this chart just means that I have to pick up somebody that can deal with time. If I want to get a little cheap, can I look towards Yoshikage Kira? Now, a lot of you guys might be thinking, why am I looking at Yoshikage Kira? Well, Kira actually has the Bite to Dust ability, which can put you in a loop. If you're able to find out Kira's identity, he blows up that time period and it loops back. But that may be a Requiem stand. It was not really confirmed. You know what? Just going off with this chart, I'm going to say it's a Requiem stand, so we're not even going to count that. I'm not looking at Kira any longer. Who can I grab that can deal with time? Now, I've already mentioned that Jotaro is the most dominant JoJo that I have ever seen, at least through parts 1 through 5. But when I'm looking at somebody like Yoshikage Kira, the sheer heart attack from Yoshikage Kira alone could have finished off Jotaro. So I'm gonna just leave that a little bit for a second. Let's look at Dio. Dio seemed invincible until Jotaro pulled up. So I'm gonna leave Dio alone. Diavolo is who I'm looking at, y'all. Diavolo is an absolute cheat code. Not only because he's super intelligent, just like Giorno, but the fact that this man's stand can erase a period in time. It's something that people don't even really understand how cheese it is. But when you're talking about polnareff needing a Requiem stand, and now Giorno needs a Requiem stand in order to keep up with Diavolo's base stand ability, come on down to my team. I'll spend another $7 for Diavolo. Are you kidding me? You're forcing people to use Requiem stands to keep up with you and your standard form. Diavolo had a whole crew after him. Narancha was getting bodied. I mean, just everybody was just getting obliterated once they pull up on Diavolo. I'll gladly spend another $7. So now I only have $1 left. And I know it hurts because I was looking in the $3 bracket a little bit. I wanted bucciarati. I was looking at avdol as well. And I was also looking at vanilla ice in the $4, but I just have to call it what it is. You have Diavolo, that's a racing time. That's going to be able to at least keep up or surpass what JoJo's Star Platinum can bring to the table and Dio's The World Stand can bring to the table. So I'm okay with that. And now we're looking at the $1 bracket. I'm looking at some Hamon users. You see Jonathan's there, Wamu, Caesar. The Hamon users are pretty much rendered useless on this chart when you look at the $7 bracket. If you don't have a stand, pretty much it's game over. I mean, except if you're Cars, because Cars is immortal. Cars can pretty much do anything. But again, I don't know what Cars is doing with some of these stands that I'm looking at right now. So I'm just going to ignore all of the Hamon users in the $1 bracket. I'm looking at Trish and I'm looking at Shigechi. I'm going with Trish, y'all. Listen to me. Notorious Big, Notorious B.I.G. That stand in JoJo Part 5 was ridiculous. That was a stand that I didn't think anybody was going to be able to hang with because the user is dead. The user is not even dead. What do you do? There's no stand user. So you have a stand that's going crazy. How do you get rid of it? It detects movements and attacks and kills on sight. But Trish was able to find a way to keep up with Notorious Big. And why is this? And that's because her stand, Spice Girl, is very, very useful. You're talking about the ability to soften objects to a point where you're able to slip through things. It's like the perfect defense. So I'm okay with that, and I only got to spend $1 for Trish. Honestly, Trish should, if we look at the chart, Trish should be a calm $2-3. But she's in the $1 bracket, completely slept on. I'm doing it. All right, so after picking up Trish, my team is Giorno, Diavolo, and Trish for $15. Let's see how they do. Now, Fugo in the $7 bracket, I'm not really worried about because even though his stand is very dangerous, the fact that Giorno is there and able to make antidotes to the poison, I'm good to go. Kira is somebody that is a problem with a sheer heart attack, but again, if we're not counting Bites the Dust, Requiem stand, I'm okay. Vanilla Ice is pretty solid, but when we look at people like Okuyasu and Part 4, it made his stand look a little bit less intriguing to me. Bakio, not worried. Josuke is tough. Josuke is tough, but I'm really not worried when I got Giorno and Diavolo. We're good. We're going crazy. And then Diavolo, pretty much. I mean, the $3 bracket and down is going crazy. I'm just sorry. It is what it is. Diavolo is going crazy. Trish can help defend Giorno, and Giorno can heal anybody that's hurt. And then the fact is that if somebody ends up losing their life, Giorno can still repair them to a point where they can fight in an undead form, because we've seen this happen with Bruno Bucciarati already. So I think this team is stacked up. I'm okay with this team. Now you guys let me know down in the comment section below which teams you would make from this chart, and I appreciate you guys always for showing love. The JoJo fans, don't worry, I got you. I can't wait for Stone Ocean. And with that, I'll see you next time. Peace.